Well, getting you ready for week 2 of the season, and a guy we can talk to now is David Wohlabaugh, fresh in off the transfer portal and his first Syracuse start. Now that you got one under your belt here, how's it all feeling to finally be Orange?
Feels good. I mean, it's kind of like a full circle moment almost, with being in the transfer portal, coming here. I mean, in May, I didn't know where I wanted to go, and then next thing you know, a few months later, get to play in my first game at the school that I decided on, which is a great feeling.
And obviously you have lots of family ties here, and we'll get into all of that. Take me into the last week. I mean, you earned the starting spot. Dino said after the game that, man, you really stepped up in the game. What was game week like for you here?
It's definitely different. It takes something to get used to just from going team to team, honestly. But I think they do a good job here preparing us for games. So I think throughout the week, it was a great preparation for Colgate, and that just set me up for success later.
And you talk about the transfer portal. You transferred, after the spring last year, which, years ago would be weird. Now it's just normal. Everyone's doing it. What was that process like, and how easy or difficult was it to go through?
It's different for sure. It's kind of like being in high school again is what I compare, where it's just everyone's just kind of coming at your phone and stuff like that. So it's definitely harder though in the aspect where you don't have as much time. I kind of had a month to try and figure out where I wanted to go. So I had to narrow it down pretty quickly and stuff like that. But it definitely was a hectic but good experience, I'd say.
I'd say for yours was maybe middle of the road and how long it took, right? Like some guys are in and out of the portal in like a day and a half. You at least had a minute. So how is that though? In high school, it's like 2 years, and then you're like, all right, you got 2 weeks, figure it out.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's just, like I said, it's just hard with trying to narrow it down without going to schools. It's hard to, put like faces to names and stuff like that when you're just talking over the phone. So I think it's good in a way where it's quick, but it's also bad in that way where you can't really go to the school to talk to coaches, kind of all over the phone instead.
Yeah, and obviously, Zooms and stuff now, maybe you can at least see somebody's face, but it's still not the same as getting on campus. All right, why Syracuse for you? Is it Dino? Is it your parents that went here? What was the reason to come here?
I think it's a little bit of everything, honestly. I know, obviously, my parents coming here was a big thing. I've just always grown up in Syracuse, pretty much. My grandparents live in Buffalo, so I've always been in kind of the central New York area. And I think all things kind of led to that, especially with the coaches and everything else, too.
Does it feel, you say full circle, is it like full circle for your family now to have, your dad played here and your mom played here and now you're here?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a full circle moment. I think it's cool for not only me, but also them to come back here and see how the university has grown and changed since they've been here, and then also see me get to do what they did here.
All right, which parent has been more QC over your life? Has one of them been pushing the QC more than the other?
I wouldn't say they've been pushing it. I think my parents did a good job with me, letting me do what I wanted to do, kind of. They would kind of guide me, but they wouldn't force anything on me for the most part. But they always loved QC, obviously, so I'm sure when I was going through the high school thing, they would have been definitely happy with me coming here as well.
All right, obviously, for those that don't know, his dad played football here, then 9 years in the league. Your mom was a field hockey player. I don't know as many people know that. Which one of your parents, both athletes, which one is more competitive?
I don't know. I think I'd have to say my mom at this point, honestly, because she still does some sports. She still plays some tennis and stuff like that. So I think she's still got a little bit more competitive edge in her compared to my dad now. My dad seems to have died out at this point.
All right, and for those that don't know this, and Syracuse played, I think he was hurt at the time when Syracuse played Duke a few years ago, but your brother Jack was a great offensive lineman at Duke. Has he been blowing up your phone this morning after the game last night against Clemson? Like, he wasn't there, but is it going to be impossible to keep him quiet about this?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to hear about that for the next few years, honestly. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him about it yet, but I'm sure he'll let me know about it in the next coming few days.
Obviously, Duke had the big win over Clemson on Monday. The Orange will play Clemson coming up within the month. All right, take us into the team now, David. It's one game in. Obviously, it's a blowout. What did you learn about yourself as a team on Saturday?
I think the O-line went out and showed that we were just a tough group of guys. We wanted to go out there and kind of set the tone with being physical and stuff like that. But there's always obviously stuff we can clean up, whether it's targeting run game, targeting pass protections and stuff like that. There's always stuff we can clean up that we're going to work to get better for this week.
It didn't end up this way when Joe Moore was out, but the scheduled whole right half of the offensive line was going to be portal guys.
Yeah.
When you look at DeAndre and Joe, and then Jacob stepped in his place. How long does it take? We talk about O-line and chemistry and all that. How long does it take for a new group to come together?
I'd say it takes a little bit longer than people think, honestly, but I think we did a good job in camp with we were rotating a lot during camp. I was playing right tackle, I was going with the ones and twos, so I was getting reps with a lot of people. Everyone was getting reps with a lot of different people. So I think we all built that connection relatively quick compared to how quick we had to do it, if that makes sense.
And you weren't here with Matthew Bergeron last year, but when it's a whole new group and a group loses an NFL tackle, which is not nothing, like how do you lay it on last year? Because that's like, man, that's a big hole to fix. And then Enrique's over there. You're in. Do you look back at last year at all? Or do you just try to avoid comparisons?
I mean, I don't think we want to compare ourselves to it, but I think there's good things to take away from people like him last year. With him being such a good player, I think there's a lot of stuff that you can look at from him and could watch what made him successful here, because running the same offense and all that.
All right, LeQuint Allen runs hard. I don't think that's a question. How fun is it to block for a guy that runs like that?
I mean, it's awesome. I'd say the best way to put it is electric, honestly, because you just need to get in front of a guy, and then half the time he makes you right, honestly. So it's always good to have a running back that's that explosive.
And have you figured out where Garrett Schrader's going to be yet? He's kind of all over the place with the scrambles and all this.
No, yeah, it's definitely different blocking for a quarterback like him with his pocket presence and stuff like that. He's all over the place, so we just got to make sure to protect him and always keep working until the ball is out.
All right, last thing, David. Biggest thing for you guys, as a line, as an offense, week 1 to week 2. What's the biggest thing this week?
I'd say just fixing the little things, honestly. I think we did a good job of looking back at the film from week 1 and just seeing what mistakes we made and just improving on those throughout the week, and that will definitely put us in a good position.
All right, man. Good to chat and good luck this week.